What's up guys, Squirrely here. I'm gonna give you guys a quick update video on my character here and our build that we were running, which was a Holy Relic of a Conviction, of course. And League Start's been really smooth for me so far. It's been done pretty much all completion, 113 out of 115, just a couple of unique maps to buy. 2 Watchstones down, of course. The next 2 hopefully coming up pretty soon here. Got a 6-link diallas, which was pretty lucky. I linked it within like 200 fuses or something like that. Yeah, pretty lucky. Hopefully you guys get lucky with your fusings too, but 5-link would be just totally fine for a while too. You don't have to get a 6-link for it to feel good. But yeah, I mean, the build's been cruising, doesn't die very often. I've got like 26 deaths total because I do play pretty recklessly. And, sometimes you just chain die to like possessed bosses and shit early on, but other than that, I mean, yeah, I'm like base tanking everything in tier 16, doing 16.5s, not looking at any map mods, literally just running whatever map I get, corrupting it, and putting it in, and that feels really good. That's not something I've ever done, to be honest, on a build. You almost always have mods that brick your build, right? But this one literally has nothing. You got the annoying no regen, meaning you have to get a mana flask, but other than that, yeah, it's super smooth. But I want to give you guys some tips on making the league start, be ideal for you guys. And this is just stuff that's helped me. So one, for leveling, don't swap into poison SRS until maybe Act 10, like at Merciless Lab, because regular SRS is totally fine. Like it does enough damage. And going into poison SRS, you have to do a bunch of swapping into like things that you have to buy from Act 6, and they're gonna be like level 1 and all that, like a chance to poison, so it's just not worth it. So just wait until Merciless Lab. Don't even do Cruel Lab, just do Cruel Merciless together, and that's just kind of a nice way of making campaign a little bit more straightforward. Another thing would be to anoint the K ward ASAP on your amulet. This gives your minions a big block chance, so that they have 60% block with Bone Offering as well, and then they also recover their life when they block. So it just really keeps them alive. Like my Spectres and Animate Guardians almost never die. My Holy Relics do sometimes die on like boss fights and stuff. It's kind of annoying. You have to resummon them. See if I can figure out how to fully solve that. Maybe they just need some resistances or something. But yeah, I mean, that part gets a little bit annoying. But this definitely still helps. So definitely recommend getting this anointed. It's very cheap. It's like a couple of teal oils or something, or 1 teal, 1 violet. I can't remember, but it's very cheap. Definitely do that. Another thing as well is to keep up like a live search for these ghastly eye jewels. The ones with chance to poison and then flat damage. You can usually get them for like 3 to 5C. At least that's what I was buying them for. You could also roll them yourself, maybe with Harvest or something, but it's just easier to buy them. And if you have a live search, you can kind of snipe them for reasonably cheap. And now that we have this, instant shop, you can just travel to their hideout and buy it out. You don't have to worry about like competing with whispers and stuff. You do have to compete with the loading screens, and that's a little bit rough sometimes, but definitely recommend getting as many chance to poison jewels as you can ASAP, because getting 100% chance to poison without running chance to poison on your links is a pretty big damage boost. Now you do need a Starkness Enthroned in order to hit 100%, and you'll need some pretty decent rolls. I'm actually at 99% right now, which is a little bit annoying, just because some of my rolls are pretty bad. Like this one's 11%, just 1 more percent, and I would have 100%. But in terms of Darkness Enthroned, though, it's pretty expensive right now to get a high roll one. I recommend getting run that's around 70%. 70% is enough so that if you have 2 15% in here, you can have 2 jewel slots not occupied and still hit 100%. At least that's what I was looking at in PoB. I'd recommend doing that, but definitely Darkness Enthroned is very good. So is Diallas. Of course, definitely try to get Diallas. I think probably get Diallas before Darkness Enthroned, just because the prices are somewhat similar. Well, I guess Diallas has gone up. I bought mine for like 2 divs. I think it's gone up to 3 or 4 nowadays. Yeah, so like 3 divs right now. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to get your Diallas ASAP. and at least 5 link it. And then, also the league mechanic prints links very, very quickly for you, like a body link. So in campaign, you should be able to get a 5 link pretty much ASAP, because there's a very, very powerful tree for linking your stuff here. This one, you just gotta rush to this point. Where is it? Yeah, this one right here. It's the one where it rolls sockets and links 150 times. And that's a guaranteed 5 link, basically. You're guaranteed to get 5 links. Hopefully you get a 6 link. It's pretty common as well. So very, very, very powerful. And you just want to make sure you also get the increased armor chance here too. So get the armor chance, and then go up and get this node as well. And you'll get that within campaign if you just do the mechanic. And definitely it's worth doing the mechanic in campaign just for that reason alone, pretty much. Other tips for the tree, by the way. So let's just go over graphs right now. Graphs are really strong. So if you look at my graphs that I'm using right now, I'm using the Esh ones, and it's the ones that have, the reason why I use Esh, pretty much the main reason I use Esh is because it can roll minions deal increased damage. So you want to get 2 of those with hopefully as high of a tier you can find. And the skills that they use are also actually pretty damn good. So this Rest in Light allows you to have lucky damage as long as you're standing on the ground that it creates. And the ground lasts for 12 seconds. The cooldown is 15 seconds. So it's pretty much up all the time. So just use it on bosses. And this one is going to create shocked ground whenever you're near enemies, which is also really good. Shocked ground is basically more damage taken on an enemy. So these 2 combined to give you a lot of damage. And then, of course, the minions dealing increased damage is a big modifier for us because we don't get too much of that. It's pretty hard to find increased minion damage. So these would be the graphs I'd recommend using. And you can create your own graphs using the tree as well. So actually right now I had Zoff because the Zoff ones are going for a fair bit of currency. But, you can just do this and you can print some. I recommend doing the modifier tier rating so that you have a higher chance of getting a high tier minion damage roll. And then hopefully you get lucky. Right? Obviously here we did not. We did not get minion damage, but that's what you're looking for, right? And these can sell sometimes pretty well too, especially the Zoff one where it takes damage for you, which is also a really good one you could use as well if you want more defensive one. It's got a very powerful skill. And then how to craft your weapon. I want to go over that real quick because it's pretty easy, but just in case you guys are super aware of it. All you got to do is go into like maybe Act 7 or Act 6 or even Act 3 or 4, probably the earlier acts, and go to a vendor, and you're just looking for a sword with 1.6 attacks per second as a base, because that's the highest base attack speed you can possibly buy. And it's pretty much like usually it's thrusting swords, that's 1.4, but you're looking for one of these basically. And then you just want to craft a or use in essence the zeal on it. Use a zeal, you just use like a screaming zeal. This is just straight out of campaign, and it gives you a bunch of attack speed, and then keep using one until you get an open suffix, and then you're going to craft the trigger. And the trigger craft you get from Act 9. In Refinery, there's like a little sewer grate. You look for that, you go in there, and you'll get the trigger wand, trigger craft. And then, yeah, that's just that weapon will do you well for, up till reds. And then once you got a bit more currency, you're going to want to be buying Essences of Fear. You can do either Shrieking or Deafening. I recommend doing Deafening because it's very cheap. It's like 2C each or something like that. So may as well just get the Deafening ones. 2C each is very, very low. And just roll a sword. The big thing as well that I didn't mention is you have to make sure that the attribute requirements are less than 100 dex, or around 100 dex anyways. Maybe like less than 110, I'd say. Because if it has more than that, then you have to account, because our maximum dex requirements are at 111 with jewels, or gems, I mean. So anything more than that is just going to be a pain in the ass. So the Spirit Blades are really good for this because they have good base attack speed as well as crit chance. And crit chance isn't relevant right now, but it might be relevant later. So I may as well just get a relevant one If with your currency, if you're gonna buy one, I bought this for like 10C, the base, and then I crafted it with the deafening essences of fear here. But you can get other like thrusting swords, but you just gotta make sure that they're eye level 77 minimum, because that's how you can get tier 1 attack speed, which is the ideal thing you hit. I hit tier 2, but that's fine. You know, you can stop at tier 2. Main thing is just getting minion increased damage, a decent roll on attack speed, and then an open suffix. And if you don't get an open suffix, but you do get the attack speed and the minion damage, you could try to annul it, but I recommend just keep rolling because annuls aren't very cheap. So they're like 8C or something like that, I think. I would just keep rolling since essences are so cheap right now. But yeah, definitely do that once you can. And then final thing I can go over will be the cluster jewel. So I actually haven't even purchased the cluster jewel myself. I'm just using, you know, this as a jewel socket. But the reason why is because cluster jewels are really expensive right now. They're like 160, 70C. I mean, I have enough currency to buy one. It's just, I don't know. I feel like they're a little bit overpriced. Maybe not, but you can try to snipe one for cheaper, but it is hard. Like there are probably 1,000 people trying to snipe one all at once, right? So, you know, unless you load the fastest, you're probably gonna be too late to get one. And people are pricing them cheaper than they should be, but yeah, you're competing with so many people. It's almost impossible to buy it for cheap. So, you know, I'll probably just buy one at 150C myself just to get it done with, but it's not that big a deal. You know, obviously it is more damage and it lets us hit the poison crit or poison cap way easier and all that. So it's worth doing. Plus I can drop some of these passives that I don't need anymore. Like I can drop these because I have enough block chance and start going and getting resolute technique and all that. But, you know, for now it's whatever. Just, you know, I'm clearing things quite well. I don't need to invest more than I really need to, right? Especially if I think those cluster jewels are going down. You know, I don't think they're going to stay at 160C. I think people are just buying them up right now because, you know, they're just trying to get their build done. But, and that's only for the eye level 68 plus ones, by the way. Are they 160C? And the reason why is because eye level 68 plus, you can get increased effect, a higher level increased effect on it. So that's why they're worth more. But, yeah, not required to get right away. Yeah, that's everything I got for you guys. If you guys have any questions, tune into the stream and ask me anything, or if you guys want to join the Discord, you can ask me questions there too, and I can help you out, or post comments in the YouTube video. It's also great. But yeah, hopefully you guys have been having a good league. Hopefully the build's been working well for you. And yeah, peace.